Hello everyone, and welcome back to yet another 5-minute build showcase for Destiny 2, where today we are checking out a build to amplify our Thunderclap melee with the capabilities to defeat a dozen enemies in one hit while refunding our ability at the same time. This allows us to complete all kinds of content while also having so much fun, so now let's check out this electrifying build. The core element of this build are the exotic gauntlets, the point cannon brace, and the perk Hammer of the Gods. Defeating targets with your Thunderclap melee restores melee energy, targets near you suffer lightning strikes and become jolted, being amplified increases the damage of the lightning strikes. Now while this exotic isn't going to refund as much energy as the insurmountable Skullfort, it's going to be greater for ad clear thanks to the extra lightning strikes. And when we are finished with this build, melee hits restore on average 50 to 75% of our next charge, and Ionic Traces will do the rest. Taking a look at our subclass, we have the Thunder Crash Super for some high DPS against bosses and champions. For our class ability, we have the Tearing Barricade to gain some extra cover when surrounded by enemies. The melee of choice for this build is the Thunderclap, allowing us to charge up powerful charge melees to defeat multiple enemies in a single strike. And when it comes to our grenade, I've gone for the Pulse Grenade to affect a large area while also getting the benefits of our first aspect, Touch of Thunder. This creates Ionic Traces for our Pulse Grenade periodically as it damages targets and increases in damage over time. For our second aspect, I'm going for Knockout. Critically wounding a target or breaking their shield infuses your melee attacks with Arc Energy and increases melee range and damage for a short time. Defeating targets with melee attacks starts health regen and makes you amplified. This aspect is going to be great for restoring the damage taken while charging up our melee, and simultaneously increases damage even further. When it comes to our fragments, I'm going for Spark of Magnitude to increase the duration of our Pulse Grenade, allowing us to create more Ionic Traces. I've also chosen to equip Spark of Feedback, where taking melee damage increases outgoing melee damage, and since we are likely to be hit while charging up our Thunderclap, this ends up being very useful. Our next fragment is Spark of Amplitude. Rapidly defeating targets while you are amplified creates orbs of power, and since we are almost always amplified, we are able to create an impressive amount of orbs. For the final fragment in this build, I decided to go for Spark of Resistance for very obvious reasons in this kind of build. There are some very useful weapons for you to pair here. My favourite is the Delicate Tomb Fusion Rifle with its perks Traitor's Vessel, where final blows have a chance to generate Ionic Traces, and Tempest Cascade, where collecting Ionic Traces causes the next shot to jolt targets. Pairing this gun with the Catalyst will mean we rarely have to reload our weapon for some extra quality of life. Another great option is the Wrist Runner SMG and the Superconductor perk to really help clear our ads with its chained lightning. However, if you want to go for more close range run and gun, you can equip a good arc shotgun to destroy the remaining health of bulkier enemies after a melee easily. This build so far gives us some high damage melees with the possibility to refund both our melee and grenade abilities partially, and the mods I've chosen to go for will allow us to complete our rotation and alternate spamming both grenades and melees. To kick off our mod selection, I decided to go for a Harmonic Siphon mod to create Orbs of Power from Arc Weapon Final Blows. This paired with Spark of Amplitude will create more than enough orbs to power our melee kickstart mod, which will refund part of our melee on use. To make sure we can refund even more melee energy, I've gone for a Charged Up mod to allow us to carry 4 armor charges, meaning if we use our melee with 4 charges, this mod alone will refund 31% of our ability. To make our Orbs of Power even more useful, I'm going for an Innovation and Absolution mod to refund 15% grenade energy and 8% melee energy from picking up orbs, allowing us to send out even more grenades by Ionic Traces and giving us a little extra melee energy. To make sure we can truly spam melees, I've also equipped 2 Momentum Transfer mods to reduce melee cooldown when causing damage with grenades, and I'm also going for 2 Outreach mods and 1 Bomber mod for melee and grenade energy when using our Barricade. Since we are going to be getting a lot of final blows from our Thunderclap melee, I'm going for a hands-on mod for extra super energy, and I'm also using a special ammo finder mod to make sure we always have ammo for our Delicate Tomb for extra Ionic Traces. but when using primary weapons, you can add an extra hands-on mod or a heavy ammo finder. Finally, I'm going for a better already mod on our leg armor for extra health regen when picking up orbs of power. If you've ever wanted to decimate large groups of enemies from a single melee while also spamming abilities and restoring health, then I urge you to give this build a try and tell me what you think in the comments. As always, I'll leave a screenshot to mod placements right here, and I'll put a dim link in the description for you to check out. Of course, if you enjoyed this build showcase, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content every week, and I'll see you in the next one.